Over the last year, I've made $4,285.67 trading Symbotic stock. This is a stock that I've been talking about, investing in and doing a little trading with for about a year and a half now. It was really summer or May of 2022 when I first found out about it. But I've been getting a lot of requests on what I'm doing with Symbotic here, as it's dipped a little bit recently off the highs, and they've got earnings coming up, I believe February 5th, so just under 2 weeks from now. Definitely will be covering that. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. But today I just want to go over a few things, what I'm kind of looking at and how I'm planning to play this stock moving forward, as I've gotten several requests. So I'll just kind of go over the last few trades I made here. So, the first one here, going back to January of 2023, that was probably when I started, playing around with some puts and calls. Again, I had been investing in the stock. I had 100 or so shares 6 months prior to that, and then I got up to 200 shares. So I'll just start here. Back in November, I sold 2 covered calls on my shares, $50 strike, just under $400 of premium I got for that. And then the stock was actually up, and I just let that those 200 shares get assigned because I thought it was a good, kind of getting a little overvalued. So made $1,800 just about in profit on those shares, about 18% profit. So, between the covered call and the profit I made selling the shares, $2,200 right there. So I was totally out of Symbotic. I didn't have any more shares after that, but I am looking to re-enter. So, beginning of the month here, I sold a $32.50 put, made $120 of premium from that. And then today, I actually just rolled that put, kept the same date, but I rolled the strike up. So I closed the $32.50 put for $45. So made around 63% profit on that trade. And then I rolled it up to this 40 put for 200. So, netted 150 there. And, like I said, over the last year, just doing these trades has netted me almost $4,300. Not bad. And, this is a stock I'm very interested in. I've talked a lot about it on the channel here. I've got a full playlist of videos breaking down what the company does. So if you're interested in those, I'll link to that playlist in the description below. But today I just want to focus on kind of what's going on currently with the stock. We got earnings coming up and how I'm planning to trade it or invest here. So, if we just take a quick look, the stock is definitely overvalued for what it is today. Again, I really like the story. It seems like an amazing company. It does have a pretty good amount of short interest, 17% nearly of the shares short as of the end of December here. And, the thing I don't really like is there has been a lot of insider selling. So as you can see, specifically this one guy, Michael Dunn David, his name just keeps popping up. He's selling tons of shares. I think he might be retiring. So I believe that was him. One of the higher ups in the company was retiring. So I don't know if he's just dumping all his stock. But in the last 12 months, we've had 19 insider buys and 65 sells. So the vast majority, 65 of a total of 84 have been insider selling. And over 12 months, number of shares bought, 68 million, number of shares sold, 102 million. And it's much worse over the shorter term. In the last 3 months, only 272,000 shares bought, while 2 million have been sold. So again, insiders can sell for a number of reasons, but they're only buying when they think the stock is going up. So, net activity, you're talking about 1.6 million deficit of shares getting sold over bought here. So that isn't particularly reassuring. It makes you wonder if they think that the stock is kind of run too much, is a little overvalued here, and they want to kind of cash out. Again, you see Dunn Michael David name pops up over and over and over. He just keeps selling shares. And as you can see, some of these recent trades here, sell, 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 one buy, sell, another buy, sell, sell, sell. So, a lot more selling than buying, it seems like. So that's not great. But, the company, if we look at how they've been performing here, so again, I've been tracking this company for a very long time, as you can see in the spreadsheet here, but just over the last couple of quarters, I mean, Q4, they brought in $392 million of revenue, way above what they had projected for, of between 290 to 310. Their revenue grew 60% year over year, and they've just been putting up staggering revenue growth numbers here. As you can see, 78% the quarter before that, 177%, 168%. So it is in a hyper growth stage. And they're getting more efficient with deploying these systems. So they've got 35 deployments in progress as of the last quarter, 12 fully operational. So, those numbers have been steadily increasing by a couple each quarter. Adjusted EBITDA, 13 million. And then, so for this coming quarter, they actually projected, lower 11 to 14 million. And for revenue, only 350 to 370 million. So, a little bit down quarter over quarter, but, year over year, definitely up quite significantly. That's 200 million last year, Q1. So, almost a double, 350 to 370 if they can hit that. So again, no problem with the growth rate. It's really just the valuation and, what you're paying for this company today, as it is still unprofitable. And if this growth were to slow down, stock price will definitely get a big hit. But so net loss, negative 45 million. Now that number, again, has been trending down, not from last quarter, but a couple quarters ago, they lost 55 million. Before that, 68 million. Looks like it's heading in the right direction. Same thing with stock-based compensation. They gave out 33 million, down from 37 the quarter before that, and 49 million a few quarters ago. And, during one of the calls, management had basically said that the bulk of that was done and, it should continue to trend down. As far as the balance sheet, I mean, it's pretty strong. They've got $548 million of cash on the balance sheet, continues to increase. They've got this massive revenue backlog of over 23 billion, although there has been some skepticism of like how true those numbers really are, where that's actually coming from, because they had maybe 10 or 12 billion, from Walmart already and their other customers. And then with the whole green box deal, it kind of added like another 11 billion. But I've been seeing a lot of people are skeptical of, how concrete those numbers are, but it seems the company's entitled to it. EPS, negative 8 cents. So again, they're working their way toward profitability. Gross margin, 15%. So, things are looking good, but the company is definitely overvalued. There's no doubt about it. I mean, their market cap, 26 billion. I believe that they're trading at a price to sales. Let's see, price to sales is pretty high 20s. So 20, this is as of the end of 2023. So, that's really high. I mean, if we compare that to Tesla, for example, their price of sales is only 7.6, and everyone's always saying how overvalued Tesla is, or at least the people who don't believe in it. So very high, rich valuation here. And again, if they keep putting up these insane numbers, these massive growth rates, it'll justify it. But if we get one quarter where they slip up, I think you're going to see not good price action on this stock. So, let's take a look at some charts here. So let's plug in the earnings really quick. So you can see, the last few earnings calls, really every earnings call, they tend to do well and the stock goes up. So, just looking at the last 3 earnings, the stock has basically bottomed before earnings or been, at a low, shoots up after. Their August quarter was especially insane. The stock was at like $40. It went all the way up to 65. So just massive price movement after earnings. Again, I think if you get another really good report, you'll probably see something similar happen. Same thing happened in November. Last earnings report, stock was around 37, jumps all the way up to 58 off a huge buying day. Again, I mean, they've been hitting it out of the park. And, you can kind of see here, this 200-day moving average, the black line, it has been acting as a beautiful support for the stock. You could just go back the last 6 months here. You can see it's just bounced up right off of it every time. And even if we go most recently here, the stock just about hit it and bounced right off. So to where it currently sits, around $45. So So what am I doing moving into this earnings here? As I showed you guys, I do have this one Symbotic $40 put open right now. I would be happy taking assignment of shares at the $40 level. But, I am still kind of debating how I want to play the earnings. I think right now what I'm leaning toward doing is keeping that put open, the $40 put, and maybe depending on what happens with the stock in the next few days, buying 100 shares just so I want some upside exposure just because, again, historically here, every quarter they have just been crushing it. The growth should be there, as long as they have a good report. I think you're going to see something similar happen where the stock just shoots up. If it's not a great report, I think that's where you're going to see the stock probably tank. So there's definitely a lot priced in. But again, since I don't have any shares currently, since I sold them, I do want some exposure just because I do really like this company. I think they're really onto something. They seem to be a leader in this industry. Everyone I've talked to just thinks it's an incredible company. The management seems to be great. Everyone speaks highly of it. So yeah, I think that's my plan right now. I'll leave that $40 put open, and I'll look to see if I could snag 100 shares sometimes in the next couple weeks, or maybe I'll average in just to have something going into earnings in case we do get another spike. I'll look to capitalize on that. So I look forward to hearing your comments down below. If anybody works in this warehouse automation industry or has any opinions on the stock, would love to hear them. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Vinny from the Investment Club. I'll see you guys next time.